Thanks for joining us today. I am here with Michael Thelander, who's the product marketing manager at Tripwire. Tripwire does IT security and compliance automation, and we're talking compliance today. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
Compliance, certainly it's been around for a number of years. It's still a major driver for most organizations. What are you finding?
It's still a major driver. I mean, nobody's really cracked the nut on how to be compliant, how to do it repeatedly, and be continually compliant. So nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Yeah, I want to be 100% continually compliant all the time." But what they find is, without automating the whole process, it's really difficult at any one point in time to prove their level of compliance. So the driver is still there. We have varying degrees of companies and institutions that are trying to really institutionalize their level of compliance all the time, but the pressure is still there from all kinds of regulations. Everything's getting stronger. PCI is getting stronger, NERC is getting stronger, FISMA is getting stronger. That's the trend.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, we've seen HIPAA get strengthened with the passing of the HITECH Act. We've seen the new Massachusetts law now, and I'm sure a lot of other states are going to follow suit with that similar type prescriptive data security legislation. So, how are companies reacting to not only new mandates, but more prescriptive ones that already have been out?
There's an era of resignation, right? And I think everybody recognizes that fighting the compliance mandates as they come along is a no-win game, right? They're going to have to show their compliance and adhere to it. I think it's more a question of how do I do it as efficiently as possible and without losing sight of my end goal, which is to make money as a business and innovate for my customers. So with that era of reservation is a renewed interest in finding ways to become, automate compliance is one way, and even thinking outside the box, like, what are the other levers that I have instead of my old tried and true ways to show and prove my compliance? What other technologies can I bring to bear? There's a big interest in that.
Yeah. What are you finding as far as companies go? I mean, some obviously just want to meet the demands and then they're done with it. Other companies are maybe using compliance as a springboard to actually do even more security.
And I think that division is spread across all industries and all types. But I'll give you some examples. Wherever there's wherever a company has multiple compliance needs, if they've got PCI as well as HIPAA as well as SOX they need to adhere with, it's no longer just a question of checking that box. They need to find a compliance framework that's repeatable and scalable and implement that. So wherever an organization or company has multiple compliance needs, they're forcing themselves to become more mature. There's a whole legion of other companies and organizations out there that to the end of their day will really just check the box and be compliant, and that's okay. And that's really okay for us too. We'd like it if their overall security posture was strengthened. But for those companies that see the need to save money and costs in compliance, they're looking for ways to manage that.
How does the C-levels play into this? The guys who are signing off, the guys and girls who are signing off on the budgets. I mean, are they like, okay, are they mostly driven by compliance, and as a result, the security departments might not get exactly what the money they need to go above and beyond?
Boy, that really varies too. I mean, we have a lot of examples of our own customer base where the C-levels and the CISO has an excellent relationship with the CEO and says, we're a better company with a better value proposition if we can solve this problem for our customers. There are others that say, no, it's kind of a cost of doing business, which means you need to do it as cheaply as possible. Is there a general trend there? I would like to think the optimist in me says that there's more of an investment in long-term security strategies, but the numbers are yet to kind of prove themselves out.
Mm-hmm. Even though we hear a lot that compliance is just a snapshot in time, I would imagine that things like fines and jail, the possibility of going in jail, can speak more to a CEO than the possibility we might get breached.
So here's a typical conversation from relayed to me from a really good CISO friend of Tripwire, and he says, Michael, here's what my CEO comes in and asks me every Monday morning. Are we safe? Are our systems and our customer data safe? And am I going to jail? That's all I really care about. So how do we keep our systems safe, and how do we stay legal all the time? And if that's the level of conversation that they have, and that CISO is empowered to make sure that those objectives are always met, he's probably going to err on the side of building good, strong security infrastructure that outlasts compliance mandates.
Mm-hmm. Let's end with talking about the cloud. Obviously, a lot of organizations, probably mostly to start, at least the small and mid-sized ones, are moving some of their data and applications over to the cloud. That's a model that's going to catch on with increasing frequency, but compliance is obviously something that needs to be considered with it. What are you hearing about that?
Well, so we hear it from two different angles. We have a lot of large customers who are increasing their virtualization footprint of what we sell, our Tripwire Enterprise product. They want more virtual nodes so they can cover more themselves. But that in itself doesn't speak to a move to the cloud necessarily. There are customers that say, well, I really want to offload this, and I want to have somebody else manage even this data, let alone these applications and web services. How can you, Tripwire, help these managed service providers, these cloud-based service providers, get more cloud aware or more security aware, compliance mature?
Because they're not in the business of doing that, right?
No, not at all. It's not their core competency, and they don't want to do it. And yet there are still some at the service provider level that just have kind of, for now, they've wiped their hands and said, no, it's our job to provide your service. You know, you guys need to bolt in your compliance and your security at the ground level, the way you build your applications and the way that you secure your reports and services and everything else before we host anything for you. So I still, you know, I don't think there's a single line there. It's very, very divergent, and everybody's looking for, you know, what model is going to win out. We need to move more stuff to the cloud that makes economic sense. How are we going to secure it? The jury's still kind of out on how they manage that.
Do cloud providers let you rent out the servers? Obviously, they're hosting the applications for you. Do they let you bring in some stuff to meet compliance and put that in the cloud? How does that work?
Some, not often. It depends on what their business model looks like and what their interest is in doing that. Some just flat out don't want to bring anything else in it. They don't even want to bring the auditors in to look at it. They want to keep it completely separate and just host the core application. So again, there's not enough. There's a big divergence in service providers in terms of what they're willing to put up with and how they want to manage the process.
Yeah, I could see that changing as the cloud becomes even
I think
more
it will.
mature. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate you being with us today. This is Michael Thelander from Tripwire. Thanks for talking about compliance. Obviously, it's something that is on everyone's plate often and always. So
Thank you very much.
thanks again.